Hello everyone, my name is Connor and welcome back to another Robert Lucci versus Black Yellow Luffy. I don't think this is a match I've had too much experience with playing in person, at least. I think it's something I've played on the sim, but not too much in person. And weirdly enough, I know that I have trouble with Black Yellow Luffy on any deck, but on the sim I actually do fairly well as Rob into Black Yellow Luffy, which I know is not the way it's supposed to be. But this game, I'm not sure. This game I think I did okay, and I definitely want to talk about it, discuss it, because I know I really stuck to not wanting to swing into Luffy, and that did hinder me a lot, but I think that swinging into Luffy would have helped him more. So I'm interested in what you guys think. If you guys don't know, that I started my channel just to learn a little bit more about the game and get better and get feedback from better players like you guys. So of course, please give me the feedback, but please don't be a dick about it, man. Like, I'm just trying to have a good time. So my opponent ends up playing the Flampe and putting themselves down at 2 life. I have some things I could do. I'm thinking about dropping the Khalifa to get some cycle in my hand. I could drop Borsalino because I know that they're about to get big and scary. And I do, and I just drop Borsalino and pass. I think that my plan here was to wait until they took their own life, kind of get a hand that I could do something with, and then go in. I was hoping for Isho. I think I mulliganed for Isho, and I thought that what I needed to see in this matchup was, and these are things I mulliganed for, was my Ishos and my 6-cost Brooks. 6-cost Brook can trash Sabo, getting around the KO effect. So he ends up swinging, I can't even count that high, what is that, 10? And I do end up countering out just to get things in my trash, honestly. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to use Khalifa or Brook? And I put a lot of my cost reduction in there. We get the Spandime, and that is okay. I don't want to swing into life. Realistically, I could drop Brook here to pop one of his bodies, and I think I might, just because I don't really feel like I have much better options. And I know there is one turn where I just it's this turn. I just pass. I don't really have much to do. I don't want to swing into his life. I would like to hold on. I think I'm thinking about holding on to Brook. Kind of a weird play, and it doesn't feel good to pass, but with 2 life, I super don't want to swing into him now. I want to force my opponent to take his own life. Not like that, but and then after that, then I'll start being aggressive. He swings 7, I take, we get a Sabo. Not really seeing a lot of counter, unfortunately. And then he hard drops the Sabo, knowing that I think my 8 Dawn turn is coming up. And he trashes Ice Age and Ace. So, pretty solid from him. We get the 0-cost event, getting us a little bit more counter. And yeah, so we're at decent Dawn here, and I'm thinking the play might just be to drop Sabo, and it is. That's what I do. I go ahead and I drop Sabo, and I get our Sabo and Robert Lucci out of the deck. So I think we'll probably trash a Spandy and a Robert. Yep, that's exactly what we do. And I have the 0-cost event. Ideally, I'd like to keep my big Sabo on, available. I don't want a 0-cost event and trash big Sabo because I feel like he's so good in this matchup. He's able to easily deal with just about all of the bodies that Black Yellow Luffy plays, except for what is his name? except for Sabo the turn of. There we go. Ooh, my brain is not working. So I end up blocking with Borsalino here after that 8K swing. And then my opponent goes ahead and plays the new gate. He gets to add one to his life and then put one. It's worded so weird. It's like add one to your life and then put one on the top of your deck. So I haven't seen it run in a lot of Black Yellow Luffys, but I know I personally ran it when I played Katakuri back in the day, and I really liked it. I thought it was a really neat card. I liked it filled a really awkward spot for like Katakuri, like his like 6 on turn. So my opponent's still at 2 life, and unfortunately I haven't seen Stage. With Stage, I could easily pop things, but we have to do it the old-fashioned way. I think I was counting how much Dawn I had there. Or not Dawn, excuse me, how much I had in Trash to see if my Tempest Kick was online. I don't think it was, so I'm counting my Dawn, trying to figure out what I want to do. I end up bumping, the table gets bumped a lot at this tournament, I'm so sorry. I end up trashing Sabo and Garp and passing turn. Do I trash something from my hand? I usually am pretty good about that, but I did not trash something from my hand, it looks like. Whoopsies. It's okay. It didn't... Spoiler alert, it ultimately doesn't matter in the end. I think I probably would have trashed Spandime, I think? Or Brook probably. But he ends up playing down the baby Luffy, putting Luffy on his life, and here comes the big swings. He ends up trashing the top of his life, getting his Luffy, and now I'm like, okay, now it's game time, now it's go time. Like, now we get to actually play the game in a way, and he's got a massive hand at this point, and I'm like, Isho would be so nice. An Isho would not only would it be nice because to get rid of some of the cards from his hand, but it would just, I feel like, help me swing into what's gonna be his massive leader. So he's deciding how he wants to do this, and he ends up playing down Ace, buffing his leader to a bigger number. I did have to have my opponent help me with the math because math is hard. He ends up playing the Sabo, and I'm thinking, okay, if I can top deck a Brook, like, that might be helpful. He's trashing cards. You know, one of the things that I've realized about Black Yellow Luffy is he does have a massive hand, but when he starts doing the leader ability, he loses card advantage pretty quickly. So we do end up taking the Newgate swing, which is, I think, an 8 or a 9. And then we counter out of the Ace swing, and I think we end up having to block out of this swing. Yeah. We go ahead and block and pass turn. We get Lucci. Unfortunately, the Sabo had just been played, so bit of a tough spot to be in there. And I'm never sure. I feel like, so his hand size looks significantly more manageable now, and I feel like I always get torn because I don't want to swing into Ace, for instance, in this case. I don't want to swing into Ace and give him another, like, body and trash, but I also don't want Ace to swing at me again next turn. So, yeah, it's definitely tricky, especially if he has the Gecko. Like, that's tough. So I go 7 into Newgate, Millie 2, and we end up minusing something. I don't remember. I guess it doesn't really matter since Sabo was played. But we play out the Gecko, I think just for the value, because I know Sabo had been played. Which is kind of a bummer to have to play Gecko out now. But I felt like I needed larger bodies. I needed to get a blocker on. And yeah, so I end up playing Borsalino. and spamming, and we see Sabo. We end up taking Khalifa just because I like Khalifa and I wanted a 2K. So I end up going 9 into Ace just to try and minimize his board. And yeah, so now I'm definitely hoping to get, I think I'm hoping to get a Brook here. I know I was looking for a Brook. So he ends up swinging with Luffy, and I counter out. Yeah, because I know that he is going to be swinging hard, I counter out pretty aggressively there with 3 cards. Not a fan of it, but I feel like it had to be done. So 2 Dawn gets put on Luffy. Trashing the Sabo. So, and then he plays Ace and Sabo. So see, he gets to recycle the Ace that I killed. He plays the Gecko Moira. Granted, his hand size is looking so manageable at this point. As I mentioned, I feel like he just kind of loses. You just kind of lose hand advantage as soon as you start leader abilitying, which I'm okay with. But he plays down the Sabo, and yeah, my thought here is if I could get my Brook to trash one of them and then swing with Gecko, and because they're about 9k. So I end up actually taking that, thinking maybe I'll use actually I block with Borsalino, and we end up top decking our Brook, which is great, but I do feel like at this point it's a little bit too late. He has a decent amount of cards in his hand, but it's like, well, let me see if I can count. 5. He has 5 cards in his hand. 5 or 6. 5. I just double counted. I mean, I'm bad at math, but he's got 5 cards in his hand, and I think that it's totally doable to kill him if I, swing, 9, and if I could get him to block with one of his blockers, and then I play Brook to trash the other one, I think I can do something. So I'm trying to do the math, figure out who is in what. I end up minusing the Sabo there. And then actually I think I just aggressively play Brook just to give him one. Yeah, I play the Brook, trashing, making him trash Sabo. So now he has 1 blocker. I have 2 swings, 2 big swings, and I'm thinking, okay, this is my best bet at game. So I go, what is that, 10 into, yeah, so I go 10 into lead, and he ends up, I'm so nervous at this point, he ends up blocking, and I'm trying to see if there's anything in my hand that can help me. I end up going another 10, and since he is at, I think, 9, no, he's not at 9, he's at, oh no, he is at 9, I think. He does have the counter for it, and that was my best attempt at game. That in the position I was in currently, I think that I probably could have played a little differently in the beginning, but this matchup is really tough for me. So he ends up swinging, and I'm like trying to figure out if I can counter out. I'm like, okay, I have to counter out of this Luffy hit to even have a chance. He swings 7, I gotta take it, and we get the finger pistol. If I took, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, but I end up finger pistoling the Luffy, just because I'm like, it's no counter, lol, you know what, get this guy out of here. And then he loads up and swings, and yeah, so we end up taking the L there. Definitely a rough matchup. I was really hoping for Isho. I think I'm looking for where my Isho is right now. There he is. Yeah, I figured going into this match I needed to see my Brooks and my Isho, and could not see any of them soon enough. So that is what it is, though. That is part of the game. That is, the random chance of it all, I guess. But I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you could ever know. go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.